For some Jacksonville Jaguars, 2025 has been night and day from what we have seen from them in the past. I'll explain who that is and talk about the reasons why on this episode.
You are Locked On Jaguars, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That is right. It is your team every day here on Locked On Jaguars. We thank you for making us your first listen. Of course, I am your host, Tony Wiggins of the Locked On Jaguars NFL Podcast Network, all of that stuff. And I've been credentialed for a couple of decades here as a member of the local media in Jacksonville. And I like to think that we can navigate you around the comings and goings of the Jacksonville Jaguars, reminding you wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you tap in so you do not miss an episode of the show, just like one today that is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Shout out to the everydayers who join us. And if you're new, we'll give you about 30 minutes of talk, and hopefully you'll come back and be an everyday. I'd like to thank you for listening to Locked On Jaguars and Locked On NFL. Remember that you can find and follow our shows and hear new episodes ad-free daily on Amazon Music. So go check that out. Here's what we're going to do, man. We're going to end up discussing our rookie class so far. And notice I said so far, and I think that's the operative word, considering a lot of things that are going on about the Jags. Right in the middle of the show, we want to see more from, guess who? I'll leave that up to you to decide until I tell you in the middle of the show. But we're going to start talking about players stepping up in 2025. There are a bunch of them. There are a boatload of dudes, man, that have done a really, really good job. And the guys I'm talking about, it could be newcomers. It could be people that were brought in as free agents that folks had doubts about. We'll get to the rookies late in the show. But we need to talk first about the guys that you have seen here in the past and you wanted to see them elevate and change their game. Parker Washington comes to mind, especially coming off of the fact that he had a punt return for a touchdown. And he also played well early in the season when given an opportunity. I think he's going to get more opportunities even moving forward. The Jaguars start 3 receivers. So it's almost like Parker Washington being wide receiver 4 is really like wide receiver 3 for a team that starts 2 wideouts, especially with Travis Hunter going back and forth from offense to defense. And then there's just certain packages I believe they have Parker in because those are the plays. He's the player that runs those plays. They don't choose plays. They choose players over plays. But when a player does something very, very well and they noticed it on tape, they used him in that position and situation. It's funny how the other day when Travis Hunter, who we'll get to later, caught a ball over the middle for 26 yards. He even mentioned after the game, I can't remember who he mentioned it to, but I give him credit. But Liam Cohen was asked about it when we talked to him on Monday. He said that somebody asked him, said, Travis said, y'all ain't hit that play very often in practice. He said, nope, we sure haven't. He's called it an alert play. And he said, nah, but we called it. And guess what? It happened. And that's what it's all about. But teams generally will go with the things that they think works, right? But Parker has been very good. The man of the hour for me, though, is Anton Harrison. And the reason why I say that is because after his rookie year, when they picked him in the first round out of Oklahoma, he played well, and we knew he was banged up all year. He had some sort of arm injury or something. So we expected him, once he got healthy in his second season, to really, really be real good, right? And it did not materialize. For whatever reason, he kind of struggled last year, it seemed like. Not trying to pinpoint what it was. I'm not a doctor, and I know what some people that may have said to me, but getting to this season, whatever it was, it's gone that hindered him. Whatever it was that hindered him is gone. And whatever they did to motivate him or whatever, I don't know what it was. It started off kind of rocky, it seems like, in OTAs. And in some points, he wasn't even lining up with the first team. Chuma Edoga was. It has clicked. And when it started to click in the preseason, Liam Cohen even said that he told Anton, okay, is that what we're going to get all the time? Because I think he had a nice couple of days put together. Liam said, as long as we get that, we're good. Is that what we're going to get? So now that thing that showed up that one time has now been habitual, and he has been one of their best players and has definitely lived up to being a first round pick. And guess what? It's not a contract year, so people can't even blame it on that. You know, he's a first rounder. So this is year 3. They can 5th-year option him next year. Guess what? Boom. The dude is going to be here for another 2 years. He's doing this on the merit of just who he is and what they've demanded of him and asked of him. And it's not going to go unnoticed, because the one thing about those offensive linemen, man, it seems like if you get them right, and once they get right and they have a standard of their own, it continues. And it's like you can expect that, barring injury. You can expect that to be just who he is forever. When you can get guys that you can kind of plan on having them for 8 to 10 years, you don't have to worry about it. Like I say, barring any unforeseen things, that goes a long way. We talk about foundation and houses and what the slab has to be and the foundation and building it up. There is nothing. As much as we love quarterbacks and skill position players and people that score touchdowns, there is nothing like having consistency along your front. And if you don't believe that, go look at the Philadelphia Eagles, how they have had it, it seems like, for 15 years. Go back to Jason Peters and Lane Johnson. And then they were able to just build that thing and invest in it and keep moving and develop guys and draft guys. And when those guys got old, they were able to plug other people in. It is a thing of beauty when it works that way. So kudos to Anton Harrison for stepping up. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the problem was, but I know what he is a big part of the solution to why the Jacksonville Jaguars are able to play and run the football like they have. Walker Little has been good too. He probably plays against some guys that, even though there isn't right side and left side anymore, everybody's pass rushing. Like the Jaguars switch their guys out, and you have to be good on both sides. I think Walker has done okay. He's done solid. I don't think he's a replaceable left tackle. I do believe that they're in a good spot with him with their extension, and he was worth it. And he's also worth them continuing to invest in him. The surprise for me has probably been Ezra Cleveland, because the metrics and the stats and all of that would always suggest that he wasn't as bad. But I just used to be like, man, I just don't see it. And you know what? It was me. I needed to get my eyes checked or something, because Ezra Cleveland has also been very, very good this year. Pat McCary is exactly what I thought he was. Really, really good technician. Ain't the biggest guy in the world, but knows how to get after it. Robert Hainsey is like a fan favorite around here now, and he should be. My wife looked at Robert Hainsey and said, "What is that tucked in the back of his pants?" And I said, "Well, you don't need to be looking at that, but that's probably a towel so Trevor can wipe his hands." But Hainsey's out there rolling around like a bowling ball 15, 20 yards down the field, man. And then the quarterback isn't hit and touched really, really fast, like it seems like the Jaguar quarterbacks have been in the past. So these dudes are stepping up. And there are more guys on this team besides Parker Washington and all 5 offensive linemen I just mentioned, by the way, that have stepped up. But those are the dudes that, to me, have been super, super critical. Parker did it. He's done it from the line of scrimmage and in the special teams area. And they've needed it because De'Ami Brown got hurt and Travis was going back and forth. And then Travis is also a rookie. Brian Thomas Jr. has gone through this little spell that he went through. Hopefully that's gone. So they really, really needed Parker Washington to step up and be exactly what he has been. He hasn't been perfect, but he's been very good. But mainly, man, that offensive line, Sean Starrett, y'all ain't got to worry about losing your offensive line coach. Everybody always worries about if a certain unit plays well, we're going to lose our coach. You ain't got to worry about losing an offensive line coach. I think Sean Starrett is here to stay, and he's also done a very good job. And he wasn't lying when he told us at the roundtable that he's very, very comfortable with the dudes that he can roll out there. And he says he's as comfortable as he has ever been about an offensive line. And we actually see it, and we see why. And I pinch myself every now and then. I'm talking about the Jaguars and how good the offensive line play. We want to see more for some people. I'll tell you who those people are in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars. All right, today's show is sponsored and brought to you by Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS top safety pick plus awards than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breath work, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings the same attention to how we craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. Speaking of moving, we're going to move on now and talk about we want to see more from who. This is not an indictment on the way guys have played. This ain't this is not some commentary that's based on all 22, or this is not some commentary that is based on he ain't living up to expectations. It's not any of that. I think there's just dudes that we want to see their impact be more visual, and we want to see it more than we see their mistakes. Now, I know that's hard to do because more attention is paid to mistakes. A guy can score 10 touchdowns and then he makes one mistake. You drop one ball and see what everybody talks about. They ain't gonna talk about the 10 touchdowns. They're gonna talk about the one drop. You can play good coverage as a corner all day and do your job and get beat one time, and they're going to talk about getting beat. So all, in fairness, that's what, we're going to focus. We're going to make sure that you see the picture from the lens that we're trying to do this. We're not beating up on people. We're just basically saying, now, if this guy steps up just a little bit more or plays above the X's and O's, because the players I'm talking about, they might be doing every single thing the coach wants them to do. And we might be wrong. Let me give you an example. There's one time in basketball practice, my man, Coach Neil Chipoletti, was more than a coach to me, by the way. He was father figure. I was in practice, standing over there like I always was on the sideline. And we had this big center named Raymond. He was inbounding the ball. And I noticed the dude came wide open, and Raymond pumped it, and then gave it to him. And I yelled out, "There he is, throw it." Coach blew the whistle. It said, "You're doing too much coaching. Be quiet. It's my job." And then he turns and tells Raymond, "Don't pump it. Just throw it the first time." So I learned that the coach, one, it was his job, but two, he would rather Raymond be careful to not make the wrong play than be in a rush to make the right one. Even when I think the first pump he was okay with. The second one, he wasn't. But then I said something, and it was like, that could lead Raymond to throw it too fast because he's worried about one of the captains over here, by the way, a bench riding captain. I was a captain because I was always there. And that's when I learned a lesson. Maybe there's more to it than you think. So we're not going to look at this and say this dude is playing bad or these people are playing poorly. It's not what I'm trying to say. What I am saying is, if their good play becomes more forward, and if it gets even a little bit better, because I think even the guys that are playing good will tell you, I can do more. And you've heard that from some people. Yeah, it was good, but we need to go a little bit further. And that's always important when you're trying to lift an organization. Without looking too far of where the team was, because this year is brand new, there's a height that, these guys want to get to. So in order for them to get there, they're going to have to do way more than observers like me and fans expect, right? And when they start doing that, it'll blow your mind. So what I basically, instead of saying we want to see more from, I'm really saying I have a high level of expectation from certain people. And because I have that high level of expectation for certain people, I really want to make sure that those people perform at that high level most of the time. So with that being said, Tyson Campbell comes to mind. This is not saying that he's not playing well. This ain't everybody's jumping all over Tyson. But what it is you can't help but know how much money somebody makes. You can't help the money that somebody makes is an indicative of what the organization thinks about you and your ability. So therefore, the expectation level goes up, and when the expectation level goes up, you want to vividly, visually see out front without having to break it down or have somebody explain it to you. You want them to basically jump off the TV screen when they're on the grass, right? That hasn't happened yet with Tyson Campbell. I haven't seen the game-changing plays. I haven't seen teams that are wary about throwing the ball to him over on that side. Like we have seen Jordan Lewis just look like he's playing lights out and looks like they need to double whatever they're paying him, right? And we have seen Eric Murray. We've even seen Dewey Wingard, right? So from that perspective, and I hope I did a good enough job explaining it, not saying that they're underachieving, but we really, really, really want to see more out of Tyson Campbell. Because if that happens and that play level bumps up to where Tyson probably even wants it, then you're talking about a special defense being like really, really special. Because the more those things come up, the more the other team has to watch out for him. And the more they have to maybe try to formation things and game plan. Or I think they're already formation and things and game planning around Jordan Lewis. I think people realize he's active. He's going to be there, even if the play isn't. If the play is anywhere near him, it's going to get made. And I really believe that Devin Lloyd is starting to morph into that same thing. And see, that's the point that I'm trying to make, because Devin Lloyd is the perfect example. You know, Devin Lloyd could have played not as well as he's played now, a little bit less than he's played now, and people would be very, very happy and satisfied with it. But he's gone above him. Devin Lloyd is playing like an all-pro. And I believe that's where I'm trying to get to, right? You're looking for the next player, the next person to exceed your expectations, to just go way above your expectations. Dewey Wingard's done that. He's been doing that for a long time. And even the Dewey haters, and there's a few of them out there, believe it or not, are now going, yeah, he's pretty good. I see what people mean. And this is what I tried to tell people about when they were talking about Dewey. I heard people in the building talk about Dewey the way folks used to talk about Paz when they wanted Paz on the bench for Miles Jack, and the players was like, who you going to bench Paz for? I mean, it was like, I think he should be playing more. And I had three well-known guys on the team turn and say, who you taking out? And I remember going, well, people saying Paz, and all of them looking at me like, what's wrong with you, man? Are you crazy? So what that tells you is people that are closer to it are saying, nah, bro, you wrong. And when you hear it from people that are there every day doing it in the building, it makes you feel a certain way. So I felt that way about Dewey Wingard. I wanted Devin Lloyd to play well. I felt like I couldn't even ask. It'd be almost sacrilegious to ask for what we've seen from him so far. The dude looks like Fred Warner. I was just hoping that he'd just be okay and just be good enough. No, he has stepped up, and Anton Harrison has done the same thing. He's exceeded our expectations. So now Parker Washington has too. I'm looking around now. Okay, who's next? Who's the next guy that's going to raise his level of play? And the name that I keep coming back to is Tyson Campbell. Like I say, not because I think he's bad or terrible. Have those tight ends, the tight end room, when people were mad that they let go of Evan Ingram in the tight end room, don't tell me they haven't exceeded your expectations, because I know they have. That is what I'm talking about. I'm getting greedy now. I'm starting to look around for who that next guy is going to be. And I think number 3 is a candidate to do that. We'll see if he can get it done. All right, we're going to take a look at this rookie class. A lot of people making comments, especially PFF or Pro Football Talk, I think, not PFF. PFT talking about Travis ain't living up to what they gave up for him. Compensation is going to have people in a headlock. Wins and losses are all we care about, but it is worthy of the discussion, and we'll talk about him and some other rookies in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars. It's all about FanDuel, man. It has started. The season is here. You're 4 games in. and I hope you won some money. If you haven't, we got an offer we don't want you to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I tell you right now, you better take A.J. Brown. Whatever Philly has to do to get him the ball this week, that's what they're going to do, because he is disgruntled, and that means they're going to score a lot of points. So I'll take Philly no matter who they're lining up against. And whether you're a casual fan or love diving into those stats like I just did, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. It makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Today's show is also sponsored and brought to you by Monarch Money. People can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's a 401k, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch Money does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes and see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. It helps me, man, because between me and my wife, we got stuff all over the place, and I like to centralize everything. And I'm not real tech savvy when it comes to going from one thing to another, so it's good to have it all right there in one place. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com in your browser or for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONNFL. All right, third segment here on Locked On Jaguars, where it is your team every day. Nothing specific about the Jaguars' plans moving forward with the game this weekend because we're a day behind. So we're doing pretty much a check with me, a little status check show here today. We'll get back tomorrow with the crossover with Locked On Chiefs. And then Friday, a little weekend primer for you. We'll come back Monday morning with a game preview of the big game that's going to happen on Monday. So just giving you a bit of an outline on where we're going and how we're going to proceed because of the Monday night game that everybody is really, really excited for. You know, I had this red shirt that I had made with Locked On it, and I was going to wear my red and white 11s. I can't do that Monday because they're playing the Chiefs, and it's going to look like I'm rooting for them. So we're going to have to wear the black Locked On polo. That's right, man. So a little fashion update for you. But it is fashionably normal for people to pick low-hanging fruit, especially when it comes to things that are hyped up the way Travis Hunter has been forever, right? Folks are seemingly looking for reasons to write a story about Travis, whether it be good or bad. And when they don't have much, I don't think people are really taking a closer look. They start saying like he's not living up to the hype. Hype that, by the way, most of them created, right? It is not the Jaguars' responsibility to put Travis in a position to satisfy the fans or the media. Travis ain't something where you're going to get a pound of flesh and start feeding people to satisfy their ego or their expectation. It's the Jaguars' job to do whatever it takes to make sure that they do right by Travis Hunter to make him the best player he can possibly be while winning games for the team. The Jaguars are 3-1. Travis Hunter has made enough plays in those games that they should be 4-0 with a bad pass interference call. It ain't been perfect. No. But considering, one, that he's a rookie, two, this is the NFL, and this is to the Travis supporters. And we're all Travis supporters, but I mean the people that went over the top trying to tell us just how majestic he was about everything. This is the NFL, man. You don't just walk on a field. This goes back to that question that I asked him. You don't just walk on a field and dominate people because you're better athletically than they are. That's hard to do in this league. You got to be a real special player and a special talent to pull that off. And not Randy Moss did it at wide receiver. Deion Sanders did it at cornerback. It's very hard for one person to do what both Randy Moss and Deion Sanders did. So I hope that explains it to you, right? That it doesn't mean that he wasn't going to be able to do it, but it also doesn't mean that people who logically thought that it was going to be impossible should have been ripped to pieces because they didn't see it. Because if they saw it, then they'd be supernatural too. Folks just go by what they see. So far, the expectation when it comes to statistics, dynamic plays, no, it hasn't been there, but that's not part of it to me. What's a part of it is this. I'd be more concerned if the Jags were 0-4 and 1-3 and we saw the production or lack of from Travis Hunter. It's the things that you don't see, man. It's the blocking. It's him being where he's supposed to be that causes the defense to be out of position so somebody else can make a play. And I know people saying that's not what you trade 2 first-round picks and some real good change for. And I would totally agree with you. However, I'll also tell you this. We don't expect guys 4 games into their career to go out here and look like a combination of Deion Sanders and Randy Moss either. That's just not the way this works. There's not one time I've seen Travis Hunter out there, other than a couple of times when, bigger, stronger guys like Nico, he's had a hard time bringing them down a little bit, but he ain't the first person to have a hard time bringing down Nico Collins on the tackle. There's not been anything I've seen out there that says that this kid has been overwhelmed. In fact, the catch he made against the 49ers, the catch that he made when he juked the corner and got to the first down on when they needed 21 yards, he got 23 or 24 yards. The coverage that he's given, especially in the red zone, whenever he's locked up on a receiver, those things have shown me that Travis Hunter is the real deal, and that none of this stuff is bigger than him. Now, remember, the team is acquiescing to his wishes to play in both ways. At some point, they'll hit a hot spot and everybody will get a comfort level. But I just think it's a little premature to be saying one way or another whether or not he's living up to something after less than 25% of the season. I'm going to run through in reverse order all of the rookies and tell you a little bit of a report on them. Quint Allen was the last player the Jaguars chosen. He's been very, very solid, albeit he made a gaffe the other day on kickoff coverage, but has been real good in pass protection and as a third down back, a receiving threat out of the backfield. Jonah Monheim, I'm sure he's still working hard. Haven't seen him in the regular season. Rayon Lane has had to play more than on special teams. He's been good on special teams, of course. That's his specialty. But he's gotten some playing time, too, because of some injuries and a little bit of depth issues at safety. And he held his own, so I'm happy to see that. Jalen McLeod, of course, has been on IR. Jack Kaiser got a little bit of burn. Nothing to really write home about because the Jaguars have primarily gone with Foyle as well as Devin Lloyd, who we mentioned. Basho Tootin has really, really exceeded expectations and his draft status. He's a very good player, explosive. Always seems like he's a tackle away from breaking it. And I'm sure he's everything we all thought Corey Grant was. Yeah, that's how good he is. And whatever his bugaboo was, I think it was fumbling. You don't have that anymore so far. Wyatt Milam, haven't seen him, but I'm sure he's in a real, real good spot because he looked good in training camp, and there's no need to put him out there right now. Caleb Ransaw he's banged up, and he's going to miss the season, so we'll look forward to him later. And we mentioned Travis Hunter already, and we're all pleased with him. Travis looks the part, man. Travis doesn't look like he's out-athletic or out-athleted or he doesn't have nerves. He looks like a dude who's extremely comfortable. I can tell you this. If he were a true freshman in the SEC playing the way he's playing right now, people would be talking about how bright his future is. So let's just kill all of that noise and just vibe, man. Go along for the ride. The Jaguars rookies are fine, and that means that we got a GM that knows what he's doing. I figured he did. I could tell that he knew what he was doing, but now y'all have the confidence in him that we all have. I've given you an outline for what we're going to do between now and Monday's game. Something else you can do is check out Locked On NFL twice a day. Early in the morning, your man Tyler Rowland. That's right. I call him your man Tyler Rowland. from Locked On Titans. However, he is the madman on Locked On NFL. He opens it up like a double shot of espresso each and every day. And then I come in at about 2:00 every day and give you a second edition of Locked On NFL. We use the local hosts from around our network to keep you all informed about what's going on. And y'all know there's nothing better than a local host that has his finger on the pulse of the team. Make sure you find Locked On NFL wherever you get your podcast, whether you watch or listen. Been fun talking to y'all today. It's always fun. We're going to continue to have fun here on Locked On NFL because it's your team every day. I thank you for these 30 minutes and 45 seconds. I don't take them for granted. Your time is super important, and I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next time.